We support all the positions that the president has offered to the people of Mulembe. The president, for that, we want to ask those leaders now who hold offices in trust now to come down and listen to the people. Tunaomba Musalia, wewe Musalia, Wetangula, Oparanya, sasa mrudi chini tusikie wananchi wanataka nini.
The decision by the President of Kenya, President William Ruto, the 5th President of this Republic, to establish a broad-based government that has brought members of ODM into government. It is the right decision made at the right time to stabilize this country.
Hata hii maminista wameteuliwa, sisi hatuna shida kwa sababu sisi katika eneo hili bado poteza chochote. Rebecca Miano amerudishiwa yake. Murang'a tumepata, Kirinyaga tumepata, Kiambu tumepata, Embu tumepata, Meru tumepata, Nakuru tumepata. Kuna shida. Wale Tharaka Nithi tumepata. Sasa hao wengine wakuja tufanye kazi.
Should any of our members opt to join the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity, we shall not be party to that decision. They will actually only be joining in their individual capacities, not on behalf of Azimio.
Tutasimama na wananchi, tutasimama na hawa vijana wetu Gen Z kutetea wa Kenya. Wenzetu ambao wameamua kujiunga na serikali, wao ni uamuzi wao wa kibinafsi.
Mimi kama Deputy President, kazi yangu ni kumsaidia rais na kuwa mwaminifu kwake na kumheshimu. Ili ameamua, mimi nafuata kwa sababu mimi ni msaidizi wake na siwezi bishana na yeye. Kwa hivyo yale yote amefanya, sisi tumekubali. Yangu nimetetea na imefanyika. Mimi nimesema niangaliliwe hii, imeangaliwa. Sisi tunaendelea. Kwa hivyo hakuna shida na sisi tunaendelea kuwa waangalifu.
My conscience will not allow me. For the love of this nation, we will stand. Hata William Ruto anajua Kalonzo atakuwa mpinzani wake. Na tutaanguka nao.
List of all people who have been arrested and are in police custody. Number 4 is the dropping of all the pending charges which are pending in courts. Number 5 is the sacking and prosecution all police officers who have been involved in criminal violence against innocent Kenyans who are actually exercising their rights as enshrined in the Constitution.
Demokrasia pia iko na nafasi ya kuweka national interest above partisan political party and regional politics. Pia tunaweza kuungana tuweze kulenga yale mambo ambayo yatabadilisha taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio sababu mimi nimesema naunda serikali ama baraza la mawaziri yenye italeta jamii zote za Kenya pamoja. Italeta sehemu zote za Kenya pamoja. Itatuweka sote pamoja. Na nataka niwaulize viongozi wote, sisi kama viongozi, kuna wakati wa kuwa mwanasiasa na kuna wakati wa kuwa kiongozi. Wakati wa kuwa kiongozi ni kuamua yale mambo hata kama ni magumu lakini yanafaidi watu wako.
All right, of course, so that's the soapbox there, just giving you a political tone and tenor of what is happening currently. And amazing how politics works as well. ODM in 2007 and OUDM right now in 2024. That is how the orange has now turned out to be. And then grafting of the UDM there on ODM. So, Senator Tabitha, before we took a short break, we were on you, and we just want to get done with the issue of the parastatals, not really the principal secretaries right now, and how we have a bloated number as it is in the spirit of austerity measures, because even we've heard from foreign embassies or the embassies abroad, we've been given to understand that we still have even deputy ambassadors, 2 of them, in one particular embassy.
Yes.
And the question was being raised, why are we doing that?
Yes.
That we have 2 or even 3 ambassadors in one particular embassy in the spirit of austerity measures. Why?
Yes.
Is it just for political expediency to pacify your political supporters?
Dubal, yes, I want to agree on this, that yes, at times there's, no, in politics there's political rewarding. It happens. It's not new. It's been there. And that's why you questioned this morning about, having been there for 2 years. These numbers have been there. Even the deputy positions that you're talking about, they've been there. But yes, currently as we speak, there's a discussion on cutting the budgets, austerity measures. The question should be the way forward. And I want to agree, yes, at this time of cutting costs, the numbers should be reduced. There's no problem with that. It's a good way forward of doing things, of cutting budgets, and also ensuring that we have very experienced and competent professional personnel in these particular departments and offices who are going to ensure that they achieve the manifesto and the goals of that particular office as stated. So as far as cutting the numbers is concerned, there is no problem. But we should not use this platform to come out and start saying that, the president has done this. It had already been done. It's 2 years down the line. We are accepting and say, yes, that has been the situation, that has been the case. But moving forward, what do we need to do? That is, I believe in leadership of solution. This is the problem, then what solution do we put? This is a solution that should be done. And I say cutting numbers is no problem, but I still state that the same ODM people as we speak, they are still negotiating for these positions of PSS that we are saying, then can we cut these numbers? Because as you listen and as you've heard clearly, the 4 ODM members seem to be, on their own. It's their own individual decision for them to be there, which is a lie and a broad day lie. So we should stop trying to fault the president on everything. You've seen even the steps that the president has taken.
Yes.
He has gone further to do town hall meetings to be able to have conversations.
Right.
I listened to that and it moved so well. It was,
we'll come to the town hall
light.
meetings briefly.
Yes.
Right, but let me just come to Honorable Dan
But
Maswa.
Dubal,
Yeah, you wanted to respond, yes.
There's something that you should not allow Senator Mutinda to get away with.
What exactly?
She's saying that
Yes.
she sits in House Business Committee and there are people who are negotiating for permanent principal secretary positions. She knows, and we all know, House Business Committee of Senate has got no capacity to recruit anybody.
No, I didn't say like that. No. Even before the senior council finishes. Just a moment. On SBC,
please,
I said...
allow me to finish.
Senior, on SBC, I said about the bill, and you talked about the motion. That is what I talked about as far as SBC is concerned. The other point of the PSS is now the political point. It's not SBC. Just a clarity, sir.
So does it take away from your thunder?
That idea of people negotiating for principal secretary, she knows. She's a legislature, and she knows that there are ways you enter into a coalition agreement. She knows that under Article 108, the Constitution allows parties to have coalitions. She also knows, Dubal, that we have a governing law, which is Section 10 of the Political Parties Act. And it allows coalitions either before or after.
Correct.
Okay? And Dubal, ODM and UDA has not entered into any coalition agreement. You know it, Senator Mutinda. And the law on coalition is so elaborate that the two parties must agree what are the objectives of that coalition. What policies do you want to enforce? What positions do you want to share? We have not entered. I'm a member of ODM. I can tell you here broadly. And Senator Manzo attended our parliamentary group meeting. We said a big no. We don't want to enter into a coalition agreement with Kenya Kwanza government. So this idea of telling us that we are negotiating for positions, Dubal, is neither here
So
nor there.
how will you characterize?
But the point I'm making...
No, just a moment. Let me take you on a bit on what you're saying as well, that you're startly denying that there's no coalition, there's no agreement, there's no, where is it? Yeah, there's no seeing of the same view as far as UDA or Kenya Kwanza is concerned. You, as a legislator, you've been talking also about deeming especially when we have your party members going on the podium and they're speaking on the policies of the government as well. And also we've seen your party leader castigating some of the members who went to State House, right? You even at some point, you were threatening to recall those MPs. How then will you characterize what is happening right now, where we have you in government and you're speaking in the same position of in terms of party politics?
Yes, I would have liked
let me ask my question. Will it be associated, or will you characterize it as a deeming?
No, there's nothing like deeming. You know, Dibal.
So you being in government, you are not agreeing?
Mbadi must resign as chair of ODM and resign as a member of Parliament nominated and shift to serve UDA. And I believe if he moves to UDA...
But he still remains to be a party member of ODM for life.
He cannot be. You know, if you move
So he will not be a party member?
He cannot be. Because
why not?
Once you move to...
I can hold my ODM card and be, of course...
No.
Yeah,
you know, by the way, when you go for vetting, there will be a form you'll be given to sign. You know, part of them will be to make disclosures on your political affiliation. Okay? And I'm sure by the time he is going for the vetting, he would have made his declaration. He's going to swear allegiance to the president, constitution, and push the policies of the administration. There is no way you can have your leg here and your leg the other.
But that's what you're doing. That's where they are.
Flip-flopping is a dangerous thing.
Flip-flopping is what is happening.
You know John Kerry ran under the Democratic Party against George Bush, okay? And he was a Catholic. He could say, we as Catholics, we are pro-life. On the other side, the Democrats were saying us we are pro-choice. So the Americans were asking, where do you stand? You are a flip-flopper. There is no way we'll allow Opiyo Wandayi to be a flip-flopper. He has opted to move and work for UDA government. He will be a Kenya Kwanza person. He will be there to implement the policies. He's now no longer a person mfukoni. He's now bottom-up. He's carrying wheelbarrows. So, as things stand now, Opiyo Wandayi should be telling us more about wheelbarrows, bottom-up, Kenya Kwanza agenda, because he's not going there to propagate policies of ODM. ODM will remain an alternative opposition party, gearing to form a government in 2027 and to implement our policies. I wish our colleagues in Parliament who want to shift can walk the same road, resign.
And cross the aisle.
Yeah, cross the aisle. Go to the other side. Go to Iziri Kibera, where Odur comes from, and say, now we are moving to the UDA side. You seek a re-election, and you propagate the policies of UDA and Kenya Kwanza. That's how it should be. I'm telling you that from next week, if Mbadi gets...
all right, so you...
if he gets the parliamentary nod, as he's likely to anyway.
All right, let me ask this.
He's not going to move to the other side.
Look at the start.
Can you listen to me, Debal? He's not going to move to the other side under a coalition arrangement as a member of ODM. We don't have on paper any coalition agreement between these two parties. But a word of advice to my friend
Wandayi. Bars are going to punch on my head.
Can I give, you know...
I have become a stooge in this debate.
Can I give a member, and you know, I look at Opiyo Wandayi.
I don't want, let me give it a chance to also Dan Mazo. I don't want Buds to patch on his head as he claimed as well. But I wanted to ask, Dan Mazo.
Yes.
You want us to believe, or they want us to believe as Kenyans, that President William Ruto just woke up one day and went to the lectern there on State House and read those lists without any conversation with their party leader, that he is actually in the know, that some of his, kingpins or cog, right, in his party, the majority leader in the National Assembly, the chairman of the party, has not been contacted, has not been consulted, and he is elected to actually take this particular CS's position that have been doled out, 4 of them, unbeknownst to Raila Odinga. He's not been approached, he's not been called, there's not been any conversation. That's what they want us to believe.
No,
do you believe it?
Now, I want to take you down.
No, do you believe it yourself?
First of all,
you know what happened?
Well, I know what happened, so you know.
You can take us back to Mombasa.
No, not to Mombasa, but from the day of IBC signing, Raila Odinga talked of talks of dialogue.
No, even you will be very naive to believe that it from the day of signing is when the talks were happening.
No, there must have been talks. In fact, I remember one time the president say in one of his speeches that talks are over. And at first, Raila Odinga issued a statement through Sifuna that those who went on their own. But last Sunday he clarified and said, now let me put the record straight, that they have his blessings and he has allowed them to go. The question is when it comes to law, and I was in the meeting where this was being pushed, and Raila Odinga was personally, pushing for broad-based government, and he was selling it to ODM. And most of the ODM members of parliament were like, wait a minute, we need to consult further on this particular and to know what sort of framework are we going on. Then he is now agreed it is happening. You can see PSS are going to be appointed from ODM, and ODM has gone on its own. I'm just saying that there cannot be in both government and in opposition. They have to decide that they are in government. If there's a coalition agreement with UDA, ODM and UDA, it should come out clear under the law. The law of coalitions is clear how you form coalitions. In fact, you should also write to the registrar of political parties. And you cannot belong into two coalitions at the same time. That President Ruto had called it a Mongoreo government. He had said he would never do a handshake, he would never do a Mongoreo government. He said those things. He said he would never mistreat his DP. And then now, and he said no people will ever be put in Rivayala again, abductions, illegal activities, extrajudicial killings. They have actually happened under his watch. And I'm saying what has happened between these two, the so-called broad-based government is illegal. It is illegal, completely, illegal ab initio. And therefore, ODM must decide whether they are in Azimio coalition or whether they are in Kenya Kwanza coalition. They must make that decision.
But you've just been told clearly there is no legality or illegality with this one. Correct. Because we have Mbadi who will rescind his position as the chair of ODM, or already his tendered his resignation, I don't know. And then, of course, he will elect to walk out from the party. So he will be partyless, so to speak.
To be deemed to have left ODM.
To have left ODM. And the president has the prerogative to elect whoever he wants to be, or appoint whoever he wants to be part of the cabinet.
Yes, I want to tell you that.
Regardless of whether it's coming from the opposition or not. This is diametrically different from BBI. So where is the illegality?
The illegality is in this. If they move as individuals, first of all, Mbadi is the chairman of ODM.
If he resigns?
He has to resign.
That's what I'm saying.
From ODM.
So
the moment he resigns from ODM, he is on his own. And I can assure you now, Mbadi is going to be more frustrated than it has ever happened.
No. I'm not asking about the frustrations. I'm asking about the illegality of it. If he resigns from as a chairman, he opts out from ODM, where is the illegality? The
moment he resigns, which he must do, then he will become, a member of, he will be appointed as a cabinet secretary.
Indeed.
And we are saying he must resign and then deemed to have left ODM. So he cannot come back as a member of ODM.
That's what I'm asking you. Or he's done that. Presumptively, he's done that. Where is the illegality?
The moment he has resigned...
he's resigned already, we presume, because now you're actually repeating yourself. He's already resigned, you deemed, you've walked out from the party. Where is the illegality?
There's no...
The legality is the so-called broad-based government.
No.
That's what I want you to tell me. Where is the illegality in the broad-based government? Where is it coming from?
Broad-based government means that certain people are is now going to serve another party.
But he's resigned from the party.
The government forming party is Kenya Kwanza.
But he's partyless, we assume. Since he's partyless, he's resigned from ODM.
Now the party leader has clarified and said he has allowed him to go. And he has said we support the broad-based government.
Correct.
So broad-based government is what is illegal.
How is it illegal?
Broad-based to what? To what political parties?
Where is the illegality? I'm struggling to identify the illegality so that at least with BBI we can see Raila was in government. Here, the opposition leader is not in government, so to speak. And his party operatives have resigned, we presume, to take this particular presumptive nominees' positions they've been given for the cabinet secretaries.
Then it means they have joined Kenya Kwanza government.
Correct.
So if they join Kenya Kwanza government and they join the party, there is no harm in joining UDA?
No, there's no harm in that.
So there's no illegality, we agree.
The problem is the conscience, the principality, and the statements they had made earlier. That they will never, the principles of life, that they will never, you know, it is Bandi who called, you know, Kenya Kwanza, you know, policies a skunk. Now the skunk is going to be the owner of the skunk. Right. He's the one who's going to bring forth the new finance bill. He must now come and read a statement saying, this is the bottom-up policy of the government of Kenya Kwanza in his speeches, which will be written for him.
All right, let's wind up on this. Right, let's wind up on this briefly. Tabitha.
Yeah, you know what is happening, Dibal? Okay, two things. First, the Star is even ahead and talking about Ruto to slash PSA slots and appoint Raila allies. I'd not even seen it because I didn't see the Star today on your table, but it is even out there and you've even highlighted. A few minutes ago, Dibal, you played the Honorable Raila's clip. Just here, thank you. When he talked about that the ODM people, it's okay, he has released them and all that. You know, that is simple mathematics. There's no science that you require them to understand what Raila is saying. You don't need, I don't know what cameras to read what the Star is saying today on this paper. It is clear. Number two, what is happening with ODM? They are simply trying to play cat and mouse. Today, where I sit on government side. Senator Maazo sits officially on the opposition. And my good friend on ODM, they are flip-floppers in town as far as political parties are concerned. So that is the kind of parties that we have today in this country. And the reason ODM is doing that is simply to protect their leadership positions in both houses, in Senate and in the National Assembly. They do not want an opportunity whereby Wiper will come and claim for those positions. So during the day, they are telling Kenyans, we are not in government. We are still in opposition. We are still as ODM. We stand like that for their own personal interest of protecting the seats that they currently hold in both houses, and also enjoying the government, positions that currently they've been given, and continue enjoying the ones that they are waiting for PSS, for ambassadorial positions, and many other positions. So they should stop lying to Kenyans that they are nowhere. Because it is clear, even Senator Maazo, as part of the opposition, is clearly saying that, one leg in, one leg out. So they are the flip-floppers in town. Number two, you saw what happened to Honorable Kalonzo 2 weeks ago when Raila stepped out and said, I've gone to attend for another meeting, proceed. And they had agreed that they are not, according to them, that they are not joining government. What happened? After less than 10 minutes, goons came in. Goons just come without a signal? They came in to disrupt so that they do not state what needs to be stated. What happened to Buddy? Last week we were here with you. You played the Buddy clip. Buddy saying, no, we are not going to listen to Kalonzo. We are not going to listen to our own colleagues in ODM. We are joining government, and we are going to have this dialogue so as to move forward. The question is there a problem? The complaint has been tribal card problems. Oh, there's only 2 tribes in government. Am I actually a Kalenjin? Am I actually a Kikuyu? From where I come from. And we don't want, as young people also, we don't want to discuss politics of tribal. That's why the president has said, let me broaden this particular, government. Let me have more people from other regions. The people who actually came from ODM side are from the other regions, which is okay, which is positive. Because the complaints have been there, saying that only 2 communities are the ones in government. Now we have more people, and we want to bring more people so that the issues that they have been complaining about in terms of accountability, the concerns as opposition people that they have raised out, they have pointed out to the government. This is the chance now they have to come in and bring those ideologies, those concepts, and put them into action, actualize them for us to be able to see the fruits and the results. So in a nutshell, Dibal, it's just trying to play the political cards. We saw our colleagues like Senator Tom Ojenda, when he actually went to State House, just going to State House, which is a public place. It's not a private entity, it's public. What happened? They were taken to court. They were being dismissed from the same party. You see, unfairness. The only problem that he did, the only mistake that he did, is just he went ahead before his boss was on that particular, sitting and all that, which everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Even whatever Badi said, it was within his prerogative and his opinion. That was then. But it is at this time that, he's looked at things and wants to soldier on and bring his ideologies on the same government. When we came to government, Jubilee joined. What did Azimio actually do? They started complaining and said, we have stolen, their members. Today, ODM is inside. Have they also been stolen? It's about, a policy with the president who opens doors for even dialogue. That is what has happened. Even on the forums that you've seen, the forum that the president had the other day, over the weekend, the town hall meeting, is open to different strategies and to different ways of doing things. There's no problem with that.
Right.
Yes.
So the open door policy seems also to be the undoing of Azimio as it is right now. PNU is walking out. We see Wiper has already bolted out. Is this the crumbling of Azimio? Should you be holding Azimio as a title, or it will just remain as a shell? Why can't you constitute another party or another coalition, so to speak, and also just collapse the name Azimio? Because we'll still have the looming figure of Raila Odinga as the Azimio leader at the end of the day. So you are leaderless as it is right now, but do you still want to hang on by the fingernails of the name of Azimio?
Before my senior goes, there are two registered coalitions in the country. One is Azimio, the other one is Kenya Kwanza. And therefore, just like Mother Karua did, if you want to leave a coalition, you must write to the office of the registrar. There's a time there was a letter from ODM allegedly that they had quit Azimio, but they quickly denied it and said it was a making of the intelligence of someone else. And therefore, with two coalitions, you cannot either belong to those two for now. So if ODM gives us a letter leaving Azimio, then they will leave, and Azimio will still remain as a coalition till the next elections.
So what really constitutes a coalition?
Political parties.
That's what I'm asking. How many do you have a threshold of how many parties should be a coalition?
No. Two parties, minimum is two.
It's two parties.
The moment you have two parties, they can still form a coalition.
It is a coalition.
And that's a registered name. The registered coalition right now is Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. So if ODM leaves,
ODM leaves, Jubilee party leaves,
none of
NAK Kenya leaves.
None of, other than NAK Kenya, no other person has left officially. So when they leave officially, then at that particular moment, we shall constitute a fresh coalition. Remember, OCA is still a coalition, One Kenya Alliance. It's part of Azimio coalition. It had been constituted as a coalition. We have many options we can coalesce with, and on our part, we have stated we are going to remain in the opposition. We are going to be the official opposition as Azimio while the others leave.
All right. Okongo Mogeni, so when we have ODM members maybe coming to TV shows and they don't speak in the position of where the party leader stands, is that really going against...
Where does the party leader stand? Maybe you can...
No, I'm just asking. I'm just, we're just having a scenario here.
Some of us
because
play,
the party... No, you'll be speaking the voice and you'll be speaking the tone of the government as ODM. Of course, if we have questions regarding
and the voting in the house.
And the voting in the house at the end of the day.
Well, there's something...
No, just let me just ask my question. Because when it comes to critical issues and it has to come, you now debating and also casting your vote regarding any maybe legislation that has emanated from Treasury, I wonder if you still have you'll hold you, or you'll still have your own head, or it will be pandering to, you know, the whims of your party leader?
You know, that's where we get it wrong, you know. If you listen to the Gen Z demonstrations, they have an expectation that we as members of parliament will be true to the oath of office that we took, which is to have allegiance to our constitution and act in the best interest of Kenyans. I don't want to look at what's happening there. What should guide me is, if I have an opportunity to cast a vote on something, I should do the right thing. Maanzo will tell you, no, he was not in the Senate. Last Senate, remember when we had handshake, we had the finance bill that came to us to allow the government to increase our debt, okay? And because there was that handshake between, I think, our party leader, Raila Odinga, and the president, it was expected that most of us will blindly vote in support of enhanced borrowing. If you go to the report in Parliament, I personally voted against, because that's what the people of Nyamira expect me to do. When we had the 1 shilling, 1 man, 1 vote thing, and we were being whipped to support the government formula that would have denied my county, for example, of Nyamira 600 million shillings, and many other counties. About 24 counties were being disadvantaged through that formula. We stood up and said no to the government. So I would not be bound with the ongoings out there. What I should be doing, Dibal, is doing the right thing as Senator for Nyamira and as an elected leader who should be defending our constitution. Like this idea of PSs that I've seen being in the headline of Star, the resolution we passed as a Senate is that we need to respond to the abuse that we have seen from the executive. And I want to tell my friend Thabita that in many jurisdictions, Dibal, when a president abuses his power or he takes advantage of a loophole in the constitution, it's incumbent on us as members of parliament to respond by passing a legislation that takes care of that gap. You remember in 1943, President Franklin Roosevelt all of a sudden realized that there was a lacuna in the American Constitution that could allow him to run for more than 2 terms. Since George Washington, each president had run 2 terms as a practice. But Roosevelt came in and said, you know what, the Constitution does not bar me, so I can run endless. And he ran 4 times, the only president who ever did 4 terms. What did the Congress do? Congress responded in 1947 by proposing an amendment to put a limit of 2 terms in the Constitution, because they realized if we don't do it, successive presidents can abuse that lacuna. What we have also noticed as senators is that since Article 155 does not give a number, a president can come tomorrow and pick even 100. So as responsible parliamentarians, we passed a motion and said, let's the Committee of Justice Legal Affairs come with a bill. We cap the number of principal secretaries as to 22. We also said to respond to the governance issues that have been raised by the Gen Zs, we bring a bill to scrap the position of Cabinet Administrative Secretary that was introduced by the National Assembly by amending Section 12A of the Government Coordination Act. We said we delete. I was even more radical. I wanted to make a proposal that we scrap the housing levy, Dibal, because most of the young Gen Zs who are working have an issue with punitive taxation measures.
Right. Thank you.
You cannot respond to their concerns by saying, since the government has already committed a wrong, we cannot respond by correcting that wrong. So
but I
don't think there is anything wrong in us noticing that we have seen a president can abuse his power and pick many PSs. Let us pass a law and cap it. We have seen that president can abuse his power by appointing CAS. Let us respond by scrapping those positions from our
I needed to remind you.
That's what is expected
Just
of us.
It's lawful.
No.
Yeah. To amend.
So
that's what I'm saying. Had it not taken the Gen Z, if the Gen Z had not,
it does not matter whichever.
No.
Whether, as long as it has come to our attention.
No, because even if it comes to your attention, does it really also fly at the end of the day? Because even this Chief Administration Secretary, we had an amendment. We had the National the National Government Administration Bill. Was it flying through? In fact, there was no capping over it. There was no capping. No, let's just agree.
Just a minute.
Because
that law was processed by National Assembly.
That's what I'm saying.
It was never brought to the Senate. Are you aware?
But that's what I'm saying.
It should have come to the Senate.
It should have come to the Senate. That was a wrong which we want to correct.
That's what I'm asking you. Did we even see a letter from the head of public service to the public service chair that they should be they should be streamrolling
a letter from who?
From the head of public service, Felix Koske.
To
the public service commission chair.
Why did he write the letter?
That's what I'm asking.
He wrote the letter to the public service after National Assembly had amended the law and introduced section 12A.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To create that position of
fantastic. That's what I'm saying.
Administrative secretary.
Here's my point. Had it not taken the Gen Zs, we will be having chief administrative secretaries appointed today, and even maybe beyond 50 that was proposed.
Even 100.
Because there was no capping. They went even a full steam ahead and said there shouldn't even be more capping.
And if we are not
vigilant, 50 that were there.
I would even go further and tell you, if we are not vigilant at Dubai, if we don't keep this debate on the table, if we don't introduce those amendments and repeal those bad laws, tomorrow you'll see those positions re-emerging.
Okay. We need
to
wind up.
Let's remain focused, let's remain focused. Let us appreciate the issues that our children, they are our children. The issues that our children have brought on the table. What we need to do as responsible leaders is to do something about those governance issues that have been placed on the table. And the best thing to do as an elected member is to put in place an initiative to either repeal the bad laws, amend the bad laws, where there is a lacuna in the law, seal the lacuna. So that going forward, we can be remembered as a generation that responded positively to the concerns that were raised by the Gen Zs.
Right.
If we sit back and say, oh, we don't care, this was done, we will leave this country to degenerate.
Okay. As we're winding up,
the next protest by Gen Zs could be worse if we don't do something. Let us fix our governance. And the response is not to go to town hall meetings and say, we were misled, this is politics. No. The response to Bar is by being a responsible leader and doing the right thing.
Right. Maybe we'll be discussing that response of a town hall also. Maybe in the next show, just to see, is the president trying to validate himself with the populace? Has he lost popularity? That's why he's holding these town hall meetings that they really call for. Why is it providentially done now? But even as we're winding up, Tabitha, I know we won't have time to discuss this, but just in your closing remarks, do you think this Constitution Amendment Bill 2023 has been overtaken by time, where you seek to have the official leader of opposition and the position of Prime Minister, and even just discussing the tenure of Senate as well, that you need to extend that to 7 years? Is it really called for as your parting shots? Or we reserve it for next week?
I would say we reserve it for next week because now you can see people who are supposed to be in opposition, they don't know where they are. They are in, they are out. So let's discuss it next time.
So who will be the opposition leader? This will be maybe a providential time also for Kalonzo Musyoka
to enjoy the benefits of which, as you know very well, we supported as government the position of the opposition leader, because of course this is a leader who also has a big following and also has numbers, and there's no problem with that. And we all actually, through NENADCO sittings, we supported the opposition leader position. There's no problem with that. But I think in details, because of time, we can be able to look at it deeply. But what I just wanted to say is that let's stop your good question that you kept on asking this morning. Did we have to wait for Gen Zs so that some of these issues can be deliberated, like the numbers for PSAs, because it's been there, it's been 2 years down the line. Let's call a spade, some of these things that have happened after the Gen Z demonstration, we were never envisioned. Like case example where we are with the issues of some of these bills that I said last time, like the division of revenue bill that has to come back. It was not envisioned, but here we are, things are happening. It's actually a learning moment, and a lot is going to happen, even where ODM today they are. Maybe they didn't envision themselves to be actually in this quagmire, because it's a total confusion space that they are in. There's a lot of mix-up, and you can see they're not really able to come out. They're having different communications from their leader. But I just want to say to the Gen Zs, you've been moving well, but when it comes to hooliganism, goonism, destruction, I mean, that is not what Article 37 talks about. This is our country. Let us ensure that at the end of the day, this is our motherland. We keep it safe.
Yeah, but we need to draw a demarcation line between the Gen Zs and the goons. As we've heard also, their political interest as well, who are sponsoring the goons. So that has to be very clear. Let's hear from...
Yes, I want to say that the so-called broad-based government is not the solution to problems Kenya has, to problems brought forth by Gen Zs. I want to say that Gen Z's idea was good, and if you don't disrupt Gen Zs, in fact it is the police which causes the goonism to go on. There are proper procedures in law when a crowd turns rioters, how you deal with it. That has not been done. We want to say that it is important to release all abducted persons, because that's extrajudicial. It is important to account for all dead people, and it is important to, to help those who are in hospital to come out. Therefore, the best way forward is really not what is happening right now, but to sit down, listen to Gen Zs.
Thank you.
All action taken so far has not been in conformity with what Kenya needs to do to get to the right track.
Thank you. Okong'o Mogeni, Senior Counsel, your closing remarks?
I wish our